All right, so step four. Step four is about creating that sanctuary. So now that you know what is getting in your way, what's blocking you, what is causing some problems, and you've had some awareness of that, and you've worked a little bit on building yourself up, even figuring out who you are, you've really started to get in touch with some of those quieter, deeper inner voices that really help to share some of those important, more deep pieces that we may not have been listening to before. Step four is about building on that, about creating a sanctuary. So it's also about creating boundaries, and we'll get into that. But sometimes boundaries come across as like a negative thing, and really, energy and life and everything is really permeable, and so it's really hard to set a hard and fast boundary sometimes for a lot of things without feeling out of alignment, because boundaries don't necessarily come from a place of love. And so trying to focus on creating those boundaries out of self-love, regardless of whether that gets perceived or portrayed as a lack of love for others or a lack of understanding for others. Again, it's a journey, it's a process. And so your boundary might have to be really super hard and fast and unforgiving and without understanding of others and others' needs and that sort of thing to start. And then we can kind of make it a little bit more soft, a little bit more permeable, while you still hold that sanctity for your own life and your own needs, but maybe it doesn't appear so harsh and hard to the outside world. And so on the next page, there's a pretty little wreath there made out of hearts, which I just adore. And I had to put it in here somewhere. So that's your circle. So sometimes it's, you could just draw a picture of a body if you don't like this, or if it takes up too much space on your page, because I know it's kind of bulky. But, I loved that it was made out of hearts, because this is all about, loving yourself and taking care of yourself. And so the idea behind this exercise is what goes inside the circle is what's inside your life. What is a part of your life? What makes you feel happy and healthy and whole and really enriched and nourished and all of that stuff. All that stuff goes inside your circle. Your circle of love. I love that circle. Sorry. And then outside the circle is the things that might be those boundaries. So things that you want to make sure stay out. And so as you're going through and cleaning up and clearing up your life and figuring out what really supports you finding your inner voice, your higher purpose, all of that, as you start to feel like, these are the things that nurture my ability to be a higher version, a better version, a future version of myself, the version that I want to be, the version I'm becoming. Those are the things that go in your circle, and the things that are outside your circle, so they go on the rest of that page, are the things that maybe lead to those blocks. So they could be people. They could be really toxic people that we want to try and keep out in some way. And again, that goes back to the boundaries and creating a process for what that looks like. Because sometimes we can't totally cut people out of our lives. But it might be, I'm going to stop volunteering for stuff, or I'm not going to volunteer more than so many hours a week because then I feel drained. Or, it might be something like having, there's a great book called The Miracle Morning, and having some sort of morning process, some sort of, whether it happens in the morning or some other time, having that time of day that is set aside and is really important to me. It's my sanctuary, where I go and I spend some time that's just on me, thinking about me and my life and my goals and nourishing myself. It can be about, anything that you want to keep out or keep in, basically, is that exercise. And